to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, the wrong turns.
What's up?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Yes, sir. What we sipping on?
Coconut water.
A little Sweetwater
Coconut
420.
water. I was never able to get into coconut water, but I have tried what Davis has. Davis, what are we rocking with?
Got a little Sweetwater.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Land's finest.
Product shot. Product placement. Podcast.
Yes, sir. Do you guys think that the moon landing was real?
So we'll let the conspiracy theorists over there start with that one.
How we feeling, Wes?
I would say yes. I'd say there's some.
Good looks. Oh, watch out.
I would say there are some incongruencies,
Uh-huh.
but I'd say overall yes. It may have been a propaganda war against the Russians, so we may have done it. Maybe the film got deleted in the Van Allen radiation belt,
Right.
and then we still had to have a propaganda win against the Russians,
Right.
so we put it out. So that's mine.
It is interesting that they've never gone back. That nobody has.
They lost the technology.
Publicly.
Right.
Well, none of that
On the
matters
60s.
because space isn't real, right, guys?
Space.
Well,
Yeah.
I like to joke around. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I know.
Do you guys think that you'd still be able to rock a concert on the moon?
Pretty sweet.
100%.
Yeah.
Considering there's not a lot of air up there, maybe not.
we've
Right.
had less people in the audience before.
Yeah.
That's true.
Let's go.
Wasn't there there was a show on a pontoon boat one time? It's sort of moon-like, isn't it?
You don't think about it.
Were y'all not on a pontoon boat at one point?
We were on an island.
Or
Yeah, an island.
Bird
Yeah,
Island.
Yeah. I got
Bird
escorted out there.
Island.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
We played Island in
For
the
the-
Sun on an island in the sun.
Yeah.
And it was the Bird Fest, and of course we are the wrong turns.
Yep.
Nest
I
Fest.
mean, they had a generator out
That's
there for
fast.
us. Everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. We got it over there on by boat. Generator was on the boat, and it was quite a learning experience. I wouldn't want to do it again.
Was it Memorial Day? I think it was Memorial Day. It was jam packed.
I wish we were on a boat. Still got sand in our speakers.
Have you
Yeah.
So what's a noticeable difference between playing on a boat, playing on land? Tell me.
Well, either way, you're rocking. That's number one. But we weren't actually playing on a boat. We were playing on an island. So there's that.
Yeah. I was just worried about our gear. I
Yeah,
think.
that's the
that
main
was,
thing.
that was
That
the
was the
main
toughest.
thing.
For sure.
That's about it.
We went out there on the boat. We had trash bags over all our stuff.
Right.
You brought your beater Les Paul out there.
Yeah, the old beater, less fall. Yeah, I think just the equipment, and then power was an issue. We had to use a generator.
It stopped on us
Quit
multiple
a couple
times.
So my dad who works on
Mid-song.
generators was there, so that was
Yeah,
convenient.
it all worked
Too much
out.
heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you guys performing barefoot. I haven't seen that before. Maybe I'm just not culturally experienced enough for it. Is that
That'd
a
be
common
me.
thing?
That's
People
Davis.
are-
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
that's-
you really feel the bass that way. Helps
Yeah.
you keep tempo.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Grounding.
Well, Buffett always played barefoot.
for sure. Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, there you
And
go.
he was an island boy, you know. So.
Uh-oh.
Here we go, Jimmy Buffett. Here we go.
And
I didn't
whatever
mean to
keeps
bring
you
that segue
comfy
in.
is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me your favorite story about Jimmy Buffett.
I don't. How long is this thing?
We can extend it.
Did you run into Jimmy Buffett at some point?
Oh yeah, he
They used to
hang out.
party.
Yeah, he bought a house that's just a few doors down from where I live now for his parents. So and I worked at Judge Roy Beans in Daphne.
What is it?
Judge Roy Beans, it was a bar over in Daphne, across the bay.
Yeah.
And I worked there. My brother was running the place, and Jimmy Buffett would just show up, and play, and people would see him around town. The phone would start ringing. Jimmy Buffett playing. Jimmy Buffett.
Right.
Of course, Jack West, the owner, always was a yes, he is. So the place would just, I mean, literally, it was like fill up with people expecting Jimmy Buffett.
That's like a
90% of the time, he didn't show up. But
Really?
when he did, They locked the doors. If you were in, you were in. If you
Nobody
were
trapped
if
you.
you were out, yeah. I mean, nobody could. I mean, you could leave, but nobody else could come in.
Like a wild animal.
So one of these late nights, we're sitting around. I was a bartender, and we're sitting around and we're drinking. It's like 3:30 in the morning, and it was me, my brother, a fellow named Dan Sweet who helped build the bar, and Jack West, and like I said, it was late, and we'd been at it for a while. But Jimmy starts talking about Margaritaville, the movie.
Oh, he was in there at 3:30 a.m.
Oh yeah, he was with us. Yeah.
So how many people were still there at 3:30?
It was me, my brother, Dan Sweet, Jack West, the owner, and Jimmy.
Oh, only 6
Buffett.
people.
Oh yeah, it was late. It was closed. You know.
Oh,
It was-
okay, gotcha.
So we're he starts talking about Margaritaville, the movie that they're working on, and he starts talking about how he wanted the opening credits to pan around the island of Margaritaville with Joe's Reptile Farm and the hotel
cool.
and the lagoon and all this kind of stuff. And Jack West, the owner, says, "Well, Calmetti can draw it for you. He's an artist." And that's what I do. Right? So he says, "You can do that." I said, "Well, I can give it a shot." So I said, "Okay, we'll be down at my parents' house at 6 o'clock. I got to catch a flight. It's like 3:30 now." So yeah, sure thing. So I didn't go to sleep because I know if I went to sleep, I wouldn't wake up.
Right.
I get in my '67 Beetle Bug, go down there, go down the driveway, and he had a little back house behind his parents' house where he stayed when he was in town. And I knock on the door, and there's no answer. And I'm, by the way, my head is like this big. I'm hungover. I feel like sweaty as July. Knocking on the door, no answer. So I'm thinking, okay, he's either overslept, and I need to go in there and wake him up because he's got a flight to catch, or I've missed him. So I just decided to just bail out. It was a stupid idea anyway. So as I was leaving, here he comes, running down the driveway. He'd been out on a little jog. Had his little headband on, his little,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, his little shorty shorts on. And there I was dying. I'm 17, 18 years old at this point. And I don't know how old he was at the
He was a
time, but
bartender
He
at
was
16.
he was superhuman.
Right.
Superhuman.
Back when we worked.
So it's, "Hey man, glad you made it. Come on in." And the door flies open, and I smell Eggs Benedict, which I could not stand. Eggs Benedict. Almost just threw up all over his little white tennis shoes right there as I walked in the door. Felt so bad. So anyway, he commenced to sit down and draw me a map of Margaritaville and how he wanted the credits to pan around and all this kind of stuff. And he gave me the screenplay by P.J. O'Rourke. I don't know if you know who that is. He was a writer. He wrote for, he just recently passed away. He wrote for Rolling Stones, and pretty big deal. Gave me a screenplay with all his little edits in it and all that kind of stuff. And we correspond back and forth for about 6 months. I'm sending sketches back and forth with his road manager, not with him.
Right. If he's on the road, how are you knowing?
Yeah,
where to
with
send
John.
stuff?
I think his manager's name was Mooney. I don't know if it was Jim Mooney or John Mooney, but I remember corresponding with him back and forth. Fax machines, I mean, literally.
Facts.
And the thing, obviously, the movie was never made.
Right.
The whole thing
I
got
don't wanna
panned,
sound like
but
you're
I
just-
still have the map that he drew for me and the screenplay with all of his little edits in it of the movie, which is kind of cool.
Yes, for sure.
So that's about the story.
Framed up on the
No
wall.
idea.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And there's some other ones that I really can't talk about.
Yeah.
You got
But
some-
just time and place, he was just here seeing his parents,
yeah.
and that was the bar to be in. So it was just right place, right time.
You got some unknown memorabilia.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
If only he'd signed it.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's got his notations in the margins of the screenplay. But yeah, it wasn't a thing where back then he was in there. I probably saw him 8, 10, 12 times in there, and never thought to really ask for his autograph.
I didn't. When you said he was coming in on a run at 5 a.m., the song Margaritaville and other songs don't really remind you of somebody that's
Yeah.
No,
so concerned with their well-being.
no.
but
After being up, and he was. I mean, we were. There was a lot of stuff going on
right.
in that bar. Suffice it to say, I know.
Sweating it out the next day.
Oh man.
Right.
I just crashed. I think I slept for about 12 hours after that. I did end up buying his
Woke up
car.
when It was 5 o'clock.
He had a Falcon convertible
Yeah.
that was featured in Ragtop Day, one of his videos. I ended up buying that car from him, little old convertible. And your mom's and I's date was our first date in that car. And She made me sell it.
There you go.
Still a bone.
Mark's our chief historian.
Anyway, enough about
He's the band archivist.
Yeah, sold the car to buy the ring.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof.
Green team. Bitch, I'm ballin' like West Lionheart. Rocket in my pocket like Westbrook. Bitch, I'm ballin' like Westbrook. Rocket in my pocket like Westbrook. Let my little homie take the shot like Westbrook. Still got them cannons, Jay Russell, not Westbrook. Bitch, I'm ballin' like Westbrook.
Euphoric. Let's change the subject. I can talk about your looks for days.
Take it off your mind. I could do this all the time. I could lay it on the line, and I could drop it on the dime. Let's go.
For 7 years, I've been shedding tattoo tears. Sideliners, urban game on the pup list. Yeah, blessing on all of my haters, that's just what it is. Yeah, to live.
So Thomas, as an electric guitarist, how does that gel with this type of band?
I would say fairly well. Like Davis and I started playing together a few years ago, and he really liked country. I really liked the rock and roll aspect, and we just kind of blended that together. I kind of pulled from Allman Brothers. That was kind of my thinking, because they're kind of country kind of sound, but electric rock and roll kind of music.
Yeah.
And just kind of went with that. But I mean, yeah, if you listen to us at all, it's like you can tell.
Yeah, Mark's a Midnight Rider.
Yeah. There's a lot of lead electric guitar in it. So we're gonna play some acoustic for you later. That's kind of odd for us, but it is something we're trying to look into a little more.
Yeah, we played acoustic for the very first time just the other night.
Yeah.
For this, in preparation of this, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How often do you guys congregate?
Shoot for once a week.
Yeah.
And once or twice every weekend, just about.
It would be more, but we all have other jobs, and
it's tough to get.
Most of us have wives. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Thomas is expecting.
There you go.
Yeah.
December 22nd.
Damn.
Christmas baby.
Wow. I didn't realize that. It's coming.
Yeah. We're excited.
Rock and roll baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. We're already talking about Wrong Turns T-shirt and stuff with little headphones to protect little baby's ears. So
This
we're
is
getting ready.
So that's necessary, yeah.
Yeah.
This is classified information, but never mind. Just kidding. So Thomas,
I don't know where that was about to go.
Thomas, little inside dope here. Guy or girl? He said he's going to name his kid Elvis. Is that true?
That is false.
I like the comment. I mean the concept though.
Bring the name back.
Yeah.
Elvis would be a cool. It would be a cool girl's name. It'd be legit.
Oh yeah.
The kid's gonna have more guitars than you do by the time he's 5 years
Oh,
old.
for sure. I don't want to push it on he or she, but it's coming.
No, speaking back to that, the electric guitar kind of gelling with an acoustic sound, or however you guys would consider your sound. I'd overheard you guys had one song already out, and we're planning on releasing more. The magic of a band, as I've asked some other bands, is just how cool it is to mesh different sounds into this new color of music. I love the idea of any experimenting with an electric guitar. Tell me, what is your guys' attempt to create music? Like, what is the new sound that you guys are pushing?
That's a good one. New sound. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Finding the sound.
Right, the new
It's
wave.
a little bit different. Yeah. I think a good blend of. I mean, I'm big on lyrics. You know what I mean? I like a lot of songs that are just 4 words over and over and over again. You know, there's a place for that. But I like a song that tells a story, but can marry it with some just good vibe. You know, I mean, obviously that's,
Yeah,
you know, everybody likes that. But yeah, a story.
right.
You know, the sound that we have though is, I mean, it's rooted in not older music, but you don't hear a lot of just straight up guitars, drums, and singing.
Yeah,
And so it's maybe not necessarily that we're looking for a new sound, but we are trying to come up with original, fresh stuff that is still rooted in like genres of music that have existed for a long time, and just trying to be original because it's well trod territory,
right.
and so it's difficult to come up with something new because there's a lot of stuff that's been done before as far as what we're doing. But I mean, these are the instruments that we play, and like that's kind of what we're trained up on, and that's how we like to express ourselves musically. So that's kind of the challenge of this band.
There's a
Very well
lot
said.
of musical knowledge in this group. Don't look at me.
Yeah,
But I mean, between these guys, to hear them talk,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like computer code when they start going off on.
and I wanted to ask that as well, Jesse. When it comes to mixing these different guitars and instruments, what is your Miles is showing his gratitude. What is your method and preference?
So I got into it mostly just out of curiosity, and because our mixer was capable of recording straight to a DAW, so really just got in there and started messing around. But over time, it kind of developed to, you know, we have two very different, or I shouldn't say very different, but two guitars that juxtapose well. So I'll pan them,
Really?
and then when we recorded Nicotine, it was set up in Davis's house, which is our rehearsal space.
Right.
And we just took over the living room, amps in a bathroom, one in a different room, and then drums, everybody performing all at the same time. So, yeah. But anyway, to answer your question, I really just kind of fumbling along and figuring it out.
Yeah.
No experience with it, so.
I love the idea of like panning both guitars, shooting them on different flanks. It feels like a battle.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
got the guitars on the sides, the
That's
drums in the middle.
good.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Never thought about it like that.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we go back and forth. We shoot at each other, and
Right.
I respond, he responds.
Oh, there you go. Self defense.
Yeah. Sometimes he assaults me. I'm like, damn, Thomas, where'd that come from? And
Right.
I got to play something like, I'll show you.
All right, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'll show you what a wrong turn is. Yeah, nice, man. And what are those recording sessions like? How long does it typically take to get a song done?
The last time it probably took all day, 8 hours.
Yeah, for
You
one
know?
song.
Yeah, well, no, we recorded multiple songs.
Well,
Yeah,
nicotine took us all freaking day, but then we kind of figured out what we were doing a little bit better
Right.
as far as
Yeah.
setting up, and then we knocked out 2 in one evening, like 6 to 9 or something like that.
Yeah. The setup and the experimentation was what just took the absolute longest the first time around. You'll do a rough take, listen to it, change your mic placements, go about it, and then but normally once we've got a song ironed out, it's going to be one of 3 takes once we get rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
full disclosure, we recorded in Davis's house.
I was going to ask as well.
We're spread out. Yeah, this is not your standard studio time, but he's in a bedroom,
Right.
and I'm in a dining room.
Sheet,
and
it's sheet music.
yeah,
correct?
Wes is in the music room through the patio, so everybody's separated out. And this is all we called him Elmer because he's the glue.
Yeah.
Elmer. Yeah, Jesse.
Jesse goes down the rabbit hole on how to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
He
but
makes
he's got
it
us all
happen.
separated out, and it's all tracked out, and he's got his computers there, and Richard says, "Okay, let's go again," and It's pretty amazing stuff.
Well, he literally is an engineer.
And
so,
to hear the recording, how good the recording is. The reason I told you that, because when you hear it, if you hear it on Spotify, you never believe it's just recorded in bedrooms and living rooms.
It's got that
Bathrooms.
Yeah, and bathroom. Yeah, you're in the bathroom. Thomas is in the bathroom.
Right.
Or
Well, my
your
amp
speaker,
was,
your amp's
yeah.
in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really singing songs in the shower.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's pretty impressive.
It's really got that homemade feel to it. I'll just stop.
Can I make one point? Just going back to your earlier thing. Miles was talking about, how all of our music comes together. We each have different influences, and I think we're just trying to find our sound.
Yeah.
But that's an age-old search. What is
Exactly.
And I love the fact that you guys are recording in home. That's definitely a great step to make that happen. But is there anything else that you guys are doing that would make you guys stand out in the way you're creating music, whether it's your writing process, your the way you found each other?
Yeah, I think it's an attention to detail. There are a
I'll
lot
put
of
that on
skill.
my resume as well.
Yeah. No, for real. It's like there are a ton of skilled musicians in Mobile. There's a ton of skilled musicians everywhere.
Yeah.
What you can find in Mobile and also in other places are people who are, they're busting their ass and they're playing gigs out at bars and stuff, and they're playing good music. But what we want to do is really like nail a song how it is, or we want to put our own spin on it, and we want to do it well. And there's just an attention to detail that we really work on, which is why when we were doing that recording, it took all day because we knew that we were doing Nicotine. That's the one that's on Spotify right now. That's the one that we knew we needed like our perfect recording for, and we wanted to do it the right way. And it took a while because also Jesse was like mixing the song right after like each take and figuring out what sounds good.
Right. Jesse was buzzed.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
killing it.
Look, he's the hardest worker in the band.
Right.
at
Everybody
any given
finishes.
day, probably.
They're like, all right, wrap it up, guys. Everybody leaves, and Jesse just.
Yeah.
That's really,
Yeah,
truly
all
mixed
the
time.
jokes, all the jokes
Yeah.
about bass players, they stop when it comes down.
Yeah. No, it's mixed time was our hangout.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wish I could help. I could, but like,
Yeah, we're hanging out.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go check on Jesse. Can I get you a beer? No, okay.
dude, it's attention to detail, and we can crush some pretty killer harmonies. You got 4 good singers in this band.
Arms.
I think it's the variety of music we play because we bring
Yeah.
so many different influences.
Yeah.
I think in a live setting, we'll play anything from the Beatles to CCR, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Black Sabbath.
Tyler Childers.
Yeah, we get a lot of
Collective
compliments
Soul.
on just the variety of stuff.
That's
Even
what
played
we
a Taylor
get
Swift
most
song
is
on
people
it.
say, "Man, I love your playlist. Love what the song." Because you get the older people who love the older stuff, and you have the younger people. We play enough new stuff, but they also like to hear the older stuff.
Right.
And done well. We play
Yeah.
stuff that I've never heard anybody else do live.
And we play some complex stuff.
Yeah.
Looking to transform your property into something remarkable? Land Refiners is your trusted, locally owned land services company based right here in Baldwin County, Alabama. Whether it's forestry, mulching, land clearing, tree and debris removal, demolition, grading, or even emergency services, Land Refiners has you covered. They work on both residential and commercial properties, bringing efficiency, professionalism, and results that last. Their team is licensed, insured, and proudly serves Baldwin County, Mobile County, and surrounding areas. At Land Refiners, they don't just move dirt, they build lasting relationships by exceeding expectations every time. Call today or visit landrefiners.com to schedule your free consultation. Land Refiners, local, reliable, refined.
How would you guys describe Tyler Childers' guitar sound? It's like he's like, I'm not familiar with the guitar that much, but like the way he kind of picks the guitar, and I heard it in Jason Isbell. I'm a huge Jason Isbell fan, and I heard it in his new album. It's because he had been touring with Tyler, and I'm sure he had a little rub off from it, but it's like he's like picking at the guitar in a way that I just really like it.
Yeah, he's got a real folksy pick, but it's more about Tyler's voice than anything
Right.
is where his song comes from.
Gotcha.
And there again, the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, he's telling a story, and he tells it in a way that's sometimes just the voice can be enough to give you a fresh sound.
Right.
You know,
You
that's
have
what
those three
it worked
layers.
for Bob Dylan. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he came out and he couldn't sing for shit, but he had a good story to tell.
Right. got
You
the
know,
story,
time
the
and
voice,
place.
the-
Yeah,
And the vibe.
yeah.
Cool. Speaking of covering classic songs or any types of songs, what's the transition like from covering classic songs to making your own songs, and how are you going to implement that in your sets?
We're trying to play all of our originals every time we get on stage these days.
Even though none of them are besides Nicotine or out yet?
Yeah. I mean, it's more to practice than anything. Go ahead,
Gotcha.
Jesse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing that like with these writing these originals is we'll come up with them, we'll get them kind of ironed out and get them close, but they're not really ready until we
Matured.
crowd test it. Yeah, we'll play it
Process,
live a
yeah.
little bit. You might find a lick you like. You gotta kind of let it age a little bit, and then
Yeah.
we'll go about it. But as far as like building a set list, you can't interrupt the energy. And so we'll kind of sprinkle them here and there throughout with whatever fits with wherever we're at in the set list.
For sure. For sure.
Got to read a room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, like-
we do have a set list, but it changes. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be, and Jesse calls the songs when it's just like if there's a bunch of people dancing out front, he'll say, "Let's go into this."
Keep them moving.
Keep 'em
Yeah.
on the floor.
Yeah,
He's got a microphone that goes to our in-ears, but not out to the audience.
talk back.
So,
Only we hear him.
right.
Yeah.
And like, so there are
Oh,
moments,
you,
and
you guys must feel pimped out.
no, dude, like when you feel like the energy happening, we're like, oh shit, it's about to happen,
Like-
and we're about to hear Jesse in between every song, and like we'll end,
More
like,
rolling in over.
Not
Bro,
even
no,
in
for real.
Before the
between.
song's over, we
Before
already
the
know
song's
the next
over,
song.
yeah.
He's calling in artillery, like in the last chords of a song. He's like, all right, we're about to go into superstition. And I'm like,
Roll.
but we're ready to go.
Right.
It's about, it's again, it
Stevie
goes
Wonder
back
on
to,
3.
it goes back to that thing about what makes us different. I mean, they're definitely professional artists that do this, but at our level, it's very few people who are trying to connect stuff as much as we are in between songs and keep the vibe going the whole time. And just we want to keep people out on the dance floor because we want people to have a good time.
That's the goal.
They'll keep coming
I
back.
guarantee you,
That's a
hire the wrong
touchdown.
Terns, you get more songs per hour than
Yeah.
anybody out there. Almost to our detriment. Sometimes it might be good if we kind of stopped and talked a little bit.
It does show how
You
far
know,
we've
but
come.
we don't. I mean, it's like listening to.
They don't want to hear us
It's
talk.
like listening to Spotify. I mean, just rolls right into the next song.
Yeah.
It's
So we
seamless.
used to have like a circle
Oh, a
of
huddle.
little huddle. Like,
What do you want to play?
What's next?
I don't know. What do you want?
didn't even know
And that
that
totally
song.
kills the vibe.
Yeah, Jesse's just no huddle. Snap the ball.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Mission control over here. So we've evolved as a band over 3 years. We're a tight knit group. We're efficient.
Yeah.
We've got the eye of the tiger. We've got
Where the hell did that
we've
come
got
from?
we've got that. I'm just saying we got the ice in our veins. Let me cook for a second. We've got ice in our veins. I'm just saying it's fun because we're a business. We're passionate about making music. We're friends. I love seeing everybody every week.
Hell yeah.
But we're a business too, and we've been refining our business processes with the in-ear monitors, with upgrading our equipment.
That shit's cool, bro.
It's
Retail.
it's a
we
game
got a
changer.
retail store online.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put enough time and money into something, it's bound to sound good eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at what point, talk to me about the build-up of the band, how you guys added people to the team, and how you were able to continue improving as you added people.
Oh, well, Davis and I had a mutual friend, and he was like, hey, I know you play guitar. I got this buddy who's a really good singer, and he plays guitar as well. And we just got together, and we played a few songs at my place, and we did, what's the Stapleton song? You Should Probably Leave. And immediately after that song, I was like, oh, we can do something. Like,
And it was just 2 guitars.
it was just the two of us, and we actually did play, was it one gig or several gigs?
We played one gig at like your neighbor's house, and then we played like an engagement party.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just kind of took off. We would just have jam sessions
Yeah.
with people, and one day Wesley and Jesse showed up, and we took it from there, added them into the band, and it's just kind of grown. grown from there.
Yeah.
Were you in a band back in the day?
No, they were out playing on our front deck at the house, and they wanted to play some Neil Young or something. And David said, "Hey, why don't you go? Don't you have a harmonica?" I said, "Yeah, I got a harmonica." So I went through my junk drawer, found a harmonica, and came out and couldn't make it sound right. This is how much I knew. And then after a little bit of research, I realized that there are 12 keys, and you have to have a different harmonica for every key that a song is played in. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either.
Yeah.
So now I have enough harmonicas to probably melt down and build a Buick. But
I know the ones I get at Mardi Gras don't work.
no.
Yeah.
No. But that's what I knew about harmonica. I could always sing. My family, he grew up singing.
Yeah.
Every time the family got together, we're always singing.
Yeah,
So
we've been playing
they came
together
natural.
since I was 15.
Yeah, I taught him 3 chords, and 6 months later, he's blowing me away and never looked back.
The Mardi Gras harmonicas are in the key of Twisted Tea.
Twisted Tea.
Bust a rhyme.
Right. So after you two guys started, how did the ripple go from there?
Well, we gotta tell him about Jack Jones. Jack Jones.
Yeah,
is
that's the
one who
mutual friend
introduced us.
that-
I still credit him for starting this band.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's out in Washington D.C. right now, I believe. Or maybe
He's
he's
back
in
in
Atlanta.
Virginia now.
Virginia,
Yeah.
he's in Virginia. Anyway, had to give him some credit there. But yeah, he introduced us, and it just kind of took off quickly than we ever thought it would.
Yeah.
It's just been
Has
growing.
been quick. Has been
Well, it
extremely
happened.
quick.
It happened because you're like, oh, I know a guy. We need somebody. Yeah, I got a buddy of mine who plays music. Jesse was my buddy. Like, we need a bassist. I know a bassist. Let's bring my boy Jesse
I
in
was
here.
a guitar player, but I was
Yeah.
like, I could
Okay.
figure it out.
And then
It's
we
easy.
brought him on for a rehearsal, and it's been musical lovemaking ever since.
That was weird, man. The first
That's
time,
crazy. I'm just
the
saying.
the first time I met you had just cut your hair off.
When Wes became
so
Wes.
you had short hair the first time we met, and then you immediately grew it back out long again, and that's just how you are now. That's just your identity.
Rock star mode.
Yeah.
Every good quarterback has long
Yeah,
hair.
and there's been different members that have cycled in and out because some are too busy and didn't want to commit for as long as we would have liked. Sometimes you're booking. I mean, we've booked a year out.
Oh yeah.
Before,
Yeah.
yeah. And
How do you guys typically go about booking tours?
booking.
No, but we
booking
haven't toured at
what?
all.
No, we don't do anything. No.
It's
Unless you
mostly,
call Orange Beach, you know.
Yeah.
It's mostly
No.
just local like weddings and stuff. Fairhope, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach.
Gotcha.
Lots of word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few Mississippi things here and there.
But we're able to pick and choose. I would say that we almost turn down or can't play because of logistics as many as we do play. I mean,
Yeah.
if this is what we were doing, this is what we'd be doing.
Right.
I mean, we could do it. Of course, you'd have to, take it to the next level.
Which
But
creating
that's
your
how
own
it.
music.
That's how. Yeah. I mean, that's how it would go about if you were into that. And I don't think that's where we're going, but
Yeah.
just a thought.
It started as a side hustle, and it still is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great one. I mean, if you're doing what you love in any capacity for money,
For sure.
yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. I was, I'm working from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and doing Gulf Coast music, and it's Gulf Coast music to some people might seem like work, but it's like no different than playing the Xbox after high school. Yeah. And I'm sure it's the same with making music as the band.
And you can't do it without a support system. I mean,
Right.
4 of us are married.
Right.
So, that comes with a lot of help and patience,
Yeah.
from spouses to be able to put up with this stuff. But they get to come to gigs and have fun, too. So
Yeah.
there's a payoff.
What's the best beverage to have on your person as you're performing?
Definitely a flask of whiskey.
Yes.
Flask of whiskey.
Cleans up the vocal cords, gives you a little rasp.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Gotta have some water. You gotta have the
so
water.
sweet.
You gotta have the whiskey.
Sweetest water.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shoot, I mean, if the bar tab is free, a bushwhacker. and if it's not, then
Any
Budweiser.
free drink.
Yeah,
Any free drink.
Yeah, Old Forester in a flask.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, neat.
Yeah, something about the flask. You could probably play a flask and come off with a C major. Talk to me about any of your songs, but specifically, I saw you perform "The Road Less Traveled" recently. Just talk to me about the creation of that, the symbolism behind it.
Well, that was an easy one. Growing up in Mobile and spending summers in Baldwin County, I just remember riding to the Gulf back in the day, and literally, as the song says, you could drive for 30, 40 minutes sometimes without ever stopping. You're rolling through stop signs. I mean, especially in certain times of the year when all the crops were cut low, you could see for forever.
Yeah.
So you're coming up on an intersection, you're looking, blow right through it. But my brother and I used to he had an MGB, and the Jezreel Beans was closed on Mondays. So we'd strap an igloo on the luggage rack on the back of the MGB, and we'd just ride the back country looking for crop dusters. That's what we used to like to do, ride around with our Heinekens. And when we find a crop duster, we'd get out and just wave at them. They'd buzz us. It was great. There were other recreational things we were doing as well, but that's another story. But
We're telling stories here, Mark.
I know, but it just breaks my heart to see what's happening over there. And I'm not one of these who's against progress. I know you can do what you want with your own property and all that kind of stuff. But dang, it is just unbelievable what's happening over there with the development. It's just out of control. And I know those 181 and those back roads like the back of my hand. And sometimes it's almost like vertigo. When I'm going down the road, I don't know where I am anymore. As you look around, it's just not the same place. It's amazing. So that's what prompted Out of Heartbreak more than anything.
To give the listeners context, the hook of the song is they're selling Baldwin County.
Yeah.
This is a song called "The Road Less Traveled" to be released on Spotify soon. We've recorded it. We're mastering it. That's the term. So that's the hook is they're selling Baldwin County.
If we're being technical here.
Yeah. Well, I consult Elmer. He's my guru. So check us out on Spotify.
Yeah, my dad's written, what would you say, maybe 50 songs.
Yeah, 50, 60.
And that's one of the few that we've been able to.
You don't
to
punch
turn.
in. You don't punch in.
What do you mean?
No, I'm joking. It's like a new term of like rappers.
Oh, really?
Where they just like.
I don't think any of us will know
Yeah.
that.
It's too young for us.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It's a
usually
recreational
4 in the
form of
morning.
rapping.
It's like, you wake up and just you're up. You
The best thoughts.
Just
Best
start
thoughts.
jotting
and shit,
stuff down. And we've got a lot of material, and in Wes or somebody will come up with a little ditty, and
Melody.
melody.
Oh, okay.
A badass riff.
Yeah, or something like that, and I'll start going through my notes as they're playing. And I'm like, this might work for this, and sometimes we need to do more of that. But sometimes it works. I mean, as he's playing, so just keep playing, and I can just kind of go through the words. Or Wes is a good writer too. He's written some good
That's how
lyrics.
Sheetrock happened. That's another song we ever
Yeah.
recorded. That's not released yet, but I had a riff and I sent it to the guys, and then Davis had a song with chords and lyrics, and he was like, "Hey, y'all check this out." I didn't think anything about what I played, but then Wes was like, "Hey, Thomas, you have a riff that I think would go really well with that song."
No, man, I was listening to your riff and trying to come up with words for
Oh, I
it.
thought we just kind of like accidentally put those together.
No,
Okay.
but we started with the
That's
riff,
still cool.
and I think that
Yeah.
made a big difference.
It was by chance, yeah. It's not like, the songs that we've come up with, and it's probably true for a lot of musicians, that, like, you don't necessarily, like, sit down. It's like, in Nashville, there's a lot of people who do have songwriting sessions. And they're like, all right, I need this kind of song, I need this kind of melody and this guitar part. A lot of the times, it's just us coming up with stuff, and it'll jog your memory as the other musician, maybe as the lyricist, or drummer, bassist, or guitarist,
Right.
and then you'll add your 2 cents, and we'll jam on it for a bit and let it develop. Or sometimes it just clicks, And Sheetrock was one of those ones where it felt like it clicked like pretty quickly. Yeah.
Sometimes
It's pretty much done, like
comes
in there.
We had a song after 2 takes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. Is it because of how simple it is, or just it's just
It's actually a little bit complicated. It's kind of
Really?
a weird timing. I think weird timing and like.
I think it's in 1/1.
All
right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it came together so easy. I think it's because we'd been working on this riff at the rehearsal before, and then by the next week I had some lyrics, and we just threw them together, and then the next week it was done.
Gotcha.
It's neat. Sometimes, you can have riffs written out and then lyrics, like all your lyrics, and then we'll mess them up. And then other times we'll be messing around. There's one track that we need to spend a little more time on, but there was about a 30-second clip of an 8-minute recording where we're all on each other's different instruments. And then that little 30-second clip came out, and that was the song. And then you build back from there. So those little moments to capture are also really fun to kind of extrapolate on.
Oh, so you guys played each other's instruments?
Yeah, I think I was on Davis's guitar. Davis was on Wes's guitar. You may have been on drums.
And you made the song off of.
We were just jamming, and then this
Interesting.
little nugget
I wasn't playing the drums.
popped
dude.
up that sounded cool.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was the inspiration. And then
Okay,
just
gotcha.
expanded from there.
And then everybody got back to their
Yeah,
assigned
yeah.
Like, all right,
I was offended. Nobody wanted to play my harmonica.
It's too
little personal.
too sophisticated.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, that's it.
a 30-second moment like that is it's like having a punchline for a joke, but then you just got to write the joke before. You're like, damn, this punchline is really good.
Yeah,
Like, how do I
exactly.
get there?
Yeah. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
fun.
makes- yeah.
And it's a lot of work. There's a lot of decision making
Yeah.
in songwriting. I
Yeah,
mean,
people don't
it's
know
hard.
what it takes to write a relatable song.
This guy knows the stuff.
Did a little homework. That's his lyrics.
This guy knows the stuff.
Oh, cool.
Tell me where the wrong turns came from.
So I used to work for the state, and I would go out on a boat. That was part of my job. I was a lab technician, so I was collecting lab equipment from the bay, Weeks Bay. And I was just sitting there on the boat trying to think of band names, and I saw a couple of Terns fly by, and I was like, wrong Terns. So I mocked up like this shitty little graphic with a tern in a circle and like photoshopped a cigarette in his mouth. And I was like, what do y'all think of this?
Yeah, that's the most random idea I've ever heard. That's cool. That's cool.
I didn't realize how many bands are named after birds.
Right.
Yeah.
You got
The Birds.
Eagles, Black Crows, the Birds,
The Birds.
Counting Crows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any Raven bands out there?
He's
I
a big
wouldn't know.
Poe fan.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You can see, dressed in black. Yeah. The
Yeah.
goth one.
Miles is an opera singer, by the way.
Yes.
That's fire, man. Tell me about it, please.
Speak to that, Miles.
Oh, man, like... La 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 la.
But seriously, like, how do you get into opera? I mean, that's really, especially in modern times. It's,
Honestly, it was just randomly by chance. I've been a drummer all my life. I'd sung in like church choir.
I think those
And
two
school.
contradict each other, the drumming and opera. Am I wrong?
You think so?
Right.
You think so? And I think actually in practice, you never hear a drum set in an opera, and you don't really hear opera whenever someone's playing drums. But it's like
Back in black.
okay, hold on. You got skills.
Give us something.
On the spot is crazy.
La donnai mobile, qual più malvento.
That was awesome.
But like, long story short, I've been singing all my life. I love singing. Always loved church choir, all that stuff, school choir, but drums is my main thing. So I went to school for music. Ended up not doing great in school. So I was in a band for some years, and I ended up working just
Fuck,
like
man, that's just, I still got goosebumps for that shit.
Dude, well, it's I never gave up on it. It's just it was always in the back of my mind. It's like it's a way of expressing myself musically that's within me, and I'm not going to deny it. But like I was working just like a regular job for a while. I was in some bands, and one day I made enough money at this job. I was like, all right, either I'm gonna put a down payment on a house, or I'm going to make the move to Nashville. So I made the move to Nashville with a buddy of mine who.
How old were you when you made that decision?
I was 22, and
What a decision!
well, he's awesome. He's on the on the record company side.
Your buddy?
Yeah. Forrest Latta works for Average Joe's Entertainment up in Nashville. And so I moved up there too. I was not cut out for it. Long story short, I came back to Mobile, enrolled in school. I was like, what's the thing that has the least amount of math? And it was music. I don't know how to hold drumsticks the correct way.
In a way, music has a lot of math, but
see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
See, I don't know anything about geometry,
right.
but the other musical, like mathematical stuff in music, I can figure that out.
Right.
But like, I just had to enroll in something, and I chose singing, and just ended up doing opera for 10 years. Got to sing in like Austria.
So you hadn't been doing opera prior to this?
No, I just joined.
In Mobile?
Or went to South Alabama, asked my old voice teacher. I took like a few lessons with him.
He was like, "You're cracked."
He was like, "Yeah, you know what? But I can turn you into something. We can do something." But yeah, it's kind of random, and I just ran with it, had fun. But drums is where it's at for me. So
man, when you go to Nashville and you're just like leaving. I mean, yeah, it's I'm 22 right now. I can't imagine making a decision like that.
And it was.
Where are you initially from?
Mobile.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Nashville is tough. It is comparable to LA or New York.
Yeah.
Everybody there is a musician.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to make it.
Right.
People were paying to get gigs.
Right.
People were paying money just to get opportunities.
Right.
And I was not prepared for that. I just thought I would show up and just get gigs.
Right.
Which is not how it works.
Right. No, yeah, it's interesting. There's like a wave of rappers going to Atlanta. It's like if everybody goes to Atlanta, if everybody goes to Nashville, how are you going to distinguish yourself?
Exactly.
How will there be enough food?
Exactly. No matter the music genre, there is a major city market for it, and it's not as easy as you think it's going to be. And you kind of have to be realistic about your goals too. It's like I grew up thinking like, all right, I want to be a famous rich drummer. That almost never happens. That doesn't happen for almost any musician. A more realistic goal would be, I want to have fun making music, and if you can pay your bills doing it, great. Anything beyond that feels like bonus.
Right.
But if you want to make music, you can't expect to become like rich and famous from it, because that's not the right motivation in the first place. You
Right.
have to enjoy what you're doing.
What do they call that philosophy of like achieving something because you didn't really go for it? Like you just did it because you wanted to have fun, and then eventually it just turned into something that you didn't expect. But it's like there's some ism that's like you just by like not intentionally going for it, it happens. But
inheritance.
No. Inheritance.
Well, Miles, I want to hear you on some Bohemian Rhapsody.
Dude, hey, look.
Yeah, right now.
That's.
We can do it.
Well, first off, I got Fat Bottom Girls on the list. We got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
And then I'll hit you with some Bohemian.
You should have stopped with Fat Bottom Girl. She said on the list.
Dude.
What?
Yeah, every band needs.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, going back to your point, Mr. Q. Can I call you?
No.
Is that?
It's
Mr. Q's my dad. Come on.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just act like you didn't say it.
All right.
Boo.
Anyway, going back to that, it starts with passion. It starts there, and then anything above that, then it's beautiful. Because if you're going into music to try to get something on Spotify, then that's a hard road. If that's your goal, if your goal is to make money, that's tough because
Yeah.
it's just tough. So it starts with passion. For me, the guitar just started because I wanted something cool to do. You know, I started playing about 12 years ago, and it's just something I wanted to do. I enjoyed it, and then I met some people, and here we are. And then the passion has brought us here. We're making a little bit of money. It's great.
We started playing for free in the middle of downtown.
We started playing for free.
Yeah, what was the
Playing for
first
tips.
gig?
It was
Technically, the first gig we did make money. It was me and Davis at some people's was an engagement party. Right?
Yeah, but then with the band, it was just right out in front of the art gallery in
Yeah.
Fairhope, just playing for tips.
During Art Walk.
With probably
Yeah.
a cajon.
It's a good gig.
Yeah.
So it starts with a passion.
Yeah, you got to get your name out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Wes always says like rule number one, commandment one in the wrong turns is have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Turn commandments. If that's not sacrilegious.
Turn command.
Yeah, you're off to a bad start.
Let me dig myself out of a hole here.
Right.
Rule number one, though, is to have fun.
Yeah.
For me personally, and I think it's spread throughout the group because I started and I just wanted to have fun because if I wasn't having fun, then I was practicing, I was worrying, I was fretting.
When you get in your
over
head,
nothing.
You get in your head, and music just doesn't work like that. Like if you're just constantly worried about,
Right.
oh, is the audience like, do they not like what I'm playing? Is that that was the wrong note? You got to just flow with it, just
Right.
play,
Yes.
For sure.
which requires having fun.
Yeah.
If you're, oh, I got to do this, you're probably not going to sound very good.
Oh, you had something?
I was going to say you're coming to Callahan's tomorrow night.
Of course.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Bring 100 people.
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. Callahan's tomorrow.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Yes. When this releases in July, people will mistakenly. They'll be like, "What the? I made the wrong turn." That's the last time I'm making a joke like that. I have a couple more questions, Miles. I just want to hear you tell me about because I think people my age right now are just stressed out about life as it is. To make a move like that, to be so decisive and confident at 22 to go to Nashville and turn down, or even to be considering putting a down payment on a house at 22, just like what is your thought process?
Man, it felt like I think in retrospect it was kind of like felt like a quarter life crisis moment.
Really?
Yeah, where it's like when you get out of college or you're at that age where people are getting out of college and they're making moves. They're either starting families or they're starting, their jobs or their careers or whatever. You feel pressure to do something, and I felt that pressure, but I also wanted to do something. I was chilling in Mobile in some bands that, we were doing some original stuff, but we didn't have like lofty goals. We were just partying and having fun. And so when it came to that decision, it's sometimes you can't really do the research, you just kind of have to go for it.
Yeah.
And
Did you find yourself kind of flat-footed when you arrived in Nashville?
yeah. First off, like me and my buddy Horace moved to Smyrna, not Georgia, Tennessee.
Bless you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We moved to Smyrna, Tennessee, which is the equivalent of like if Mobile is the goal, you move to like Citronelle.
Mhm.
It's way out of the way. So if you think you're going to be in the mix on Broadway, it's going to take like an hour to get there, and an hour to get back, and yeah,
You had enough
being
time
a
to
drummer,
rehearse
you
the
gotta-
voice on the ride.
Dude, yeah. And I gotta haul my drums there and figure out like how do I get a gig. Like I just didn't have any contacts.
Right.
That's the other thing. Like if anybody's thinking of going somewhere, have maybe like at least one or two buddies that live there that you can connect with, because
Right.
otherwise it's gonna feel lonely. And that was the other thing. I just ended up mountain biking a lot and
Really?
not playing
Yeah.
music. It was all right, but yeah, I missed Mobile, and I didn't have a clear-cut goal.
Well, was it kind of like a shock after a while? Like I said, that just seems so incomprehensible for I don't know how my mind would be able to process doing something so just out there on a whim. It would seem, at least, to just go to Nashville and then you're like, fuck, just
Yeah, it
How do
was
you
very
cope
much
with
on
that?
a whim, but like think of all the musical heroes that you have personally,
Yeah.
or the musical heroes that you hear of, like Jimmy Buffett busting his ass and playing and gigging around for a long time, making it right. It takes a certain amount of like adventure, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to jump and go for it. But I think you can also be a little more prepared and thought out before you do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Have you ever considered combining opera and the drums? Across,
I don't know. Actually,
across genre like that? Like somehow as you're playing, you're hitting the high notes?
funny you mentioned that. I do have a buddy who's in a band up in Boston, and they do opera and mix it with like rock music and like metal and stuff. But
a one-man wrecking show would go viral.
Oh, the pay would be awesome if it was just one person.
Well, one person.
Oh my God, that was gorgeous.
No, that was terrible.
Dude, I don't know. Actually, I try to get rid of the opera style of singing when I'm singing with us because I want to do like clear, like not crazy, just clear, solid background vocals whenever we're singing stuff. You know, so I don't want to stick out. I want Davis to be the center of attention, like vocally, so that he can shine.
For sure.
Yeah.
You got some killer tremolo though. I don't know how you do that.
It sounds like a pasta.
And a killer ear for harmonies.
Yeah,
chef it up back
there. I love singing some harmonies, but Mark can find a harmony out of nowhere, like nobody's business. Wes will chime in. He's got harmonies. Like we've got 4-part harmonies going crazy.
Yeah.
It's a fun time, man. There's some songs that I think the band started before I joined, wanted to sing, kind of put to the side, and then we've been able to add another voice to the mix and revive some stuff that musically we wanted to do before but couldn't.
For sure.
It's fun.
Well, guys, is there anything else that you guys wanted to discuss on the podcast?
Thanks for having us, man.
Somebody pass the mic to Wes.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, God, here we go.
Let me sign in. What did you say earlier? Let me sign in. Let me drop a line.
Did I say that?
What did you say earlier? No. Let me sign into my Gmail.
Punch in.
Let me punch in. So, Q. I hear that there are tunnels underneath this Spring Hill.
Oh, right.
Can you speak to that, sir?
No.
Wait, what? Oh, below Spring Hill
Tunnels,
College.
dude. Yes, tunnels.
Yeah, not to my knowledge, there aren't any underneath us, but there are some like tunnels in a nearby woods area.
Really?
Are you an adventurer?
Yeah.
He's got his adventurer's hat on right now.
I dabble.
Yeah.
Wesley does love a good tunnel.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Wait, what?
That's great. But no, yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've ventured over there, but I had some friends go over there freshman year, and it's kind of a thing. It's
Yeah.
So Spring Hill's got its areas of exploration. You got to know somebody.
Well, I mean, look, like I said, I did go to school like a block away, and I always remember whenever we had to walk through y'all's campus to get to the lower school at St. Paul's, there's like this huge ravine that's covered in kudzu, and it looked like the Grand Canyon to us, and I'm like, I want to go explore that.
Yeah.
Is that where the tunnels are?
Yeah, it would be, yes, because it's kind of like over here that would connect between St. Paul's and the
Are
college.
they man-made tunnels?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Oh, you hadn't been over there?
Yeah. Tell me about the Spring Hill Illuminati. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. We don't have to get into that. Tell me about performing at South Alabama.
KA House.
Oh. Yeah. That was a gig
good
where
time.
it rained on and off.
Yeah,
so we would start playing, and then we'd go chill in the chapter room at the fraternity house.
Yeah, we had like set up 3 times, I think, for that gig. So
Yeah.
that kind of.
Because it
was
just
a good
kept
time.
raining.
Once the rain quit, it was a good party though.
Yeah.
Talk about the pledges climbing in the trees.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
To mount a light
Yeah.
for us.
I think I mentioned like if y'all could get one light like up in this tree.
Oh,
I meant like in the
umbrella
future.
Pledges in the tree.
I was like for future events you could
They
do
were
this.
grabbing a ladder.
They immediately grabbed a ladder and were
Power
like
tools.
trying to get
Yeah,
us light up.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, yeah.
installing light work off of like an offhand comment that we kind of wish there were lights. We didn't expect it to happen.
Right.
They were
Pushing out
like,
right then and there.
yeah, three guys in like blazers and a tie,
Right.
like installing lights in the rain, and we're like, all right,
Yeah.
Right.
appreciate it.
We ended up playing another gig for them.
Yeah, we played their formal.
Shout
Do
out
what for
KA.
Coors Light?
Yeah, they were
Okay.
great. That was a great crowd.
Yeah.
Very polite.
So,
very nice kids.
No crazy stories, really.
Yeah.
Do we have any crazy stories?
Yeah, give me the
I don't
best.
think we do. I mean, a lot of us are married or
Right.
We're boring.
yeah.
Yeah.
You give me the best band performance story. Like, y'all kind of
Huh.
addressed how, you're in that mode, changing songs, but is there anything that sticks out
Either
of, like,
Big Earl or Freebird at Oso.
Oh,
Either
yeah,
one of
Big
those.
Earl.
This last
And
Yeah.
Freebird.
also passing the hat.
No.
We made more in tips. Was that the first time we
That
played
was
us?
the
First
first
time.
time.
First time we
I
played
there.
up, we made more in tips than they paid us because Big Earl came out and wouldn't let us quit playing and pass the hat. He said, "How about $100 to keep these guys playing?" And immediately, $400 bills came out of the crowd. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Big Earl's a fixture at Floribama.
They let it rain on
He's a local
Yeah.
celebrity.
That was like
yeah.
Sunday night too.
Yeah, it was
That was
crazy.
At Oso.
It was a crazy night.
Oso is probably our favorite place.
Was
to
it
play.
Labor Day weekend or what? It was just.
It was just
That was they'd had a golf
It was
cart
Father's
parade.
Day. I think it was Father's Day.
When is Father's Day?
Every day is Father's Day for this
June.
guy.
That's
That's
right.
next Sunday.
All right.
Anywho,
It's lame.
This Sunday.
what else is going on?
Oh, that is a Sunday.
No, not to date this podcast. It is this weekend, so everybody get ready. Spoiler: it's Father's Day.
Shout out Amazon.
Yeah, shout out.
Prime delivery. One last question, actually. When it comes to the guitar shorts that you'll post on your Instagram, you've posted a lot of them. And how old are you, by the way?
I'm 29. That's my wife though. Hannah does all of those
Oh,
social media.
Interesting. That's a good alliance they made. Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to posting all those, is just I guess just talk to me about kind of the purpose of that, because it's I don't know, it's something I think is kind of bold to just be dropping posts of you playing the guitar and just letting it go.
Oh, you're talking about my personal?
Right.
Oh man, I haven't posted on there in years.
Right, because you seemed young when you were posting it.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably was kind of bold, but I was just starving, I think, to just play.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe in front of people. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I've never looked at your Facebook, man. I'll have to check that out.
Right.
Yeah.
We're about to go digging.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
But no, now playing with these guys.
There's no reason. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe I was hoping like, oh, somebody will see this and be like, hey, let's get together and jam.
Yeah.
Never really happened that way, but I found these guys and
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what I was getting at. Is there's like a lot of up and coming musicians that tend to do similar things, and it seemed like you had consistently done it for a very long time, and just a relatable experience for a lot of guys is to just keep playing until somebody sees. So
yeah.
cool stuff. Well,
Thomas likes to tell the story of how his dad smashed his Xbox when he was a kid and took him to buy a guitar.
please.
That's not totally true, but
Something like that.
something like
Good
that.
story,
No,
go with it.
I wanted to buy an Xbox 360 at the time. I was 14 or 15, and cut a bunch of yards all summer. And
Oh, yeah.
we're at GameStop with my dad, and I'm about to pay for the Xbox. He's like, I can't let you do that. Takes my money. I'm like, what? Like, it's right there. And
He smashed it.
Yeah, in the store.
He smashed the
No, so we hopped in the truck and went to Guitar Center, and he takes the money that I made and mostly his money, and buys a Fender American Stratocaster. And usually you start out on like a piece of crap guitar. Well, I started out on this American-made Strat, and I was like, I have to learn. There's no excuse.
Right.
So, that's why when people want to start learning how to play on guitar, I'm like, man, go ahead and get a nice one.
Yeah.
Because
it
it
makes a
really
difference.
does. It encourages you to play. And that's what happened to me. And then all it took was I figured out Sweet Home Alabama, Sunshine of Your Love by Cream, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
That's
and
a
then
hell
I
of a
started playing
story,
8
man.
hours a day and just got obsessed.
Right. Went from Guitar Hero to Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
No, that's a hell of a story, though.
Yeah.
You must have been pissed off in that moment.
You know, I'm surprised I wasn't more so. I think I was so like, because I always loved Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton, and I always thought that was really cool.
Right.
And so when I knew an American Strat was a big deal, so I was kind of like, I guess screw the Xbox. I mean, playing video games, no offense to gamers, like it's not really that cool.
Right, your dad was
Guitar
like,
is cool.
You were like, I want to play Xbox. Your dad was like, dream on.
yeah, exactly.
This guy's got jokes.
I'm trying to get like Wes.
Oh my god.
But yeah, is there anything else that you guys have coming up? Maybe if you want to talk about the rollout of music.
Come see us at Callahan's.
Who's got
Yeah,
their
I'm just
phone?
gonna
Let's
keep
plug
working
some
at it.
gigs.
Check us out on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
So this will come
all
out in
right.
July, you said?
Yes.
I will say you'll never see the same set twice.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that is a big point.
Keep it fresh.
Jeez, we don't really have anything public.
We have recorded at least 2 songs that we're working on. I don't know if we have a timeline on that, but that's all I have to say.
More to come,
There's
likely this fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
More to come, likely this fall.
Likely this one.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So we're working on it, big guy.
They're
I'm
there.
excited. I'm really excited.
Cool.
I'm really excited. I've heard great things. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode on the Gulf Coast Music Channel. The Wrong Turns, Callahan's, and more to come this fall. Tap in, punch in.
Punch in.
Punch in.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next wave.
That's my new
right.
That was
buzzword.
fun, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.